This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you live your best life by being healthy relationally, successful professionally, and peaceful financially. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Rachel Cruz. We're here for you this hour. 888-825-5225 is the toll-free number to jump in. 888-825-5225. A lot of new people, Rachel, joining the show all the time. And I like to remind folks that some of these calls are very sensitive in nature. One of the things you may not be aware of, we will change your name. Kelly is standing by. She'll change your name, change your location, because we want to protect the sensitivity of some of these calls, because we want to meet you right where you are in your life, because we want you to understand how your relationships and your professional life and your money life are all intertwined. And Rachel, you could be winning in one of those three areas, but losing in two, or whatever formula you want to look at, and it's going to drag the other one down, no matter where you're winning.
What you just said, money,
relationships, and your work life.
Okay, give me, list out yours right now.
Yeah.
The best, what's killing it?
Oh, work life's killing it.
Okay, so professional number one.
Personal's tough because I'm parenting teens.
I know.
So it's like a roller coaster.
Third, or is that two?
It's definitely three.
Okay, so money's your number two.
Yeah,
okay, I'm trying to think what mine would be.
Yeah, we're winning.
I'm gonna say,
because you're in the throes of it.
Financial's three for me right now.
You're not losing. I'm
not losing, no, but I'm not killing it like I have been in years past. I pull back a little bit, so I'm home a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'd say work number two, relation number one. There we go.
That's good.
I went backwards, but
yeah. And again, I want to be careful. I don't want to, first of all, the Coleman kids aren't watching, so there's no chance of defending them. They're great kids. But like I was telling some people the other day, I was telling another dad who's successful in another area.
Yes.
And we were just talking, and I was like, sometimes I'll have this high. I come home, and work has been great, doing something I'm good at, something I love, getting feedback from people that we're helping them transform their lives. You feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah.
Then you walk in the door and you feel like the village idiot inside of 30 minutes.
100%.
He was like, listen, man, I'm the same way. It's a teenage thing.
Man, I feel when they're three.
Same deal. You could have a great day. You could do Good Morning America. You could do all these things. You come home and all they care about is like, Sissy took my toy, or who knows.
And it's hot, and it's just hard. It's hard. It's hard. I know.
So we're going to meet you there. We understand it.
We get it, y'all.
Let's
we get it.
go. Elisha joins us in Billings, Montana. Elisha, how can we help?
It's Elisha.
Oh, Elisha. I'm so sorry. I didn't know if it was a hard eye or soft eye. So there we go. Elisha,
okay.
How can we help?
I just started the baby steps, and it took me like 3 months to build up my emergency fund, and I just started paying off the debt that I have this last month, and I accidentally, this is horrible. I'm telling this in front of a whole bunch of people. Anyway, I accidentally ran over my dog. He's okay.
I'm so
but
sorry.
I already depleted my emergency fund.
Shoot, yeah.
To take him to the vet. And
for sure.
Now I'm feeling discouraged because I'm like, you know how long it took me to build that up?
I know. Okay, so what were the things you did to help build it up in those 3 months? What were a couple of the things?
I did some small work that brought in some money under the table, kind of like quilting and things like that. And then I kind of cut our grocery fund a little bit.
Good. Okay, because the only reason I'm asking is because when we teach the baby steps, like that baby step 1, we want you to do it in like 30 days. Okay, so this next time around, I would encourage you kind of pour the gasoline on, right? So even if it is taking a whole other job, maybe 4 times a night for just 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, looking around and say, okay, what are things we can get rid of? Like you said, we cut our grocery budget. Where can we cut? Anything that you can do to get it faster, because here's the deal too, is that life, you're going to go forward 4 steps, back 2, forward 3, back 1. I mean, it's this back and forth thing. So the idea of using the emergency fund, it was there, which is amazing. for when you needed it. That's what it's for. But I totally understand the discouragement of going backwards because you think, oh, I'm just going to be making forward progress. And when you go backwards, I want you to hear it's normal, but I want you to refund it twice as fast as what you did the first time, just to continue to keep you motivated.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, Elisha, because here's the deal. To this day, anytime I have to use that emergency fund, it irritates me to no end, and I've got it fully funded. It drives me bananas because you know how hard you worked. So I would flip that. I love the advice that Rachel gives, but I think mentally, not only do what she's saying, so very intensely get that $1,000 emergency fund back up, but also while you do it, I want you to maybe flip your mindset. Instead of being discouraged, she told you to get determined. And I think that's great. But I would also realize, pat yourself on the back. Instead of being so discouraged that you had to use it, be encouraged that you worked hard enough to be able to do it. And so when this horrible thing happened, you didn't go backwards financially. I know you depleted your emergency fund, but you actually didn't go backwards financially. That's why we have the emergency fund. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
All right. Well, you're doing great. Hang in there. Isn't it interesting, Rachel, that it's like life just happens this way. When you get serious and you get intentional to go do something and you get some momentum, it's like I don't know what it is about our humanness where we just think, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm just going to run up a hill and I'm never going to sprain my ankle.
Yeah.
I'm never going to run into a thorn bush or whatever. It's just, I'm going to get there.
Yes. Well, because of life, you're like, okay, I'm going on an upward trajectory that I want. But the line doesn't look straight. I mean, it looks like turning and
so
deck
true.
down and up and all that. I mean, hopefully over the scope of time, it's heading up because we want to be improving and learning from mistakes we've made, all of that. But it's all over the place. It's all over the place.
Yeah. And how do you handle it when you coach people or you personally, like when someone is in that place and they're looking at this emergency that really comes out and how do you determine for somebody that's very early on in the baby steps, can I move my budget around?
Yeah.
To make this a kind of, or is it a true emergency transaction where I'm pulling it out of the emergency fund? Does that make sense?
No, I was going down.
So when someone's learning how to budget, right?
Yeah.
And so they've kind of got their working budget. Now they've established a budget.
Yes.
So now they're on the budget. When something bad happens, how do you determine, well, this is clearly I'm going to pull the money from the emergency fund versus maybe I'll move some money from my below envelope and try to keep that. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I mean, I would say for your emergency fund, for me, it's the ultimate safety net. So if I can't finagle things around to have the cash to do it, then it's kind of my last resort, but it's there. It's that safety net. Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, in a perfect world, you would have some stuff over here, or you're planning on making a purchase this month that didn't happen. So you have that money there, all of it. But it's,
that's my goal, is to always find a way to cash flow it, not pull from the emergency fund.
But it's there. And if, like she
did it the right way.
She did it the right way if that's all she had.
She didn't have it. And when your budget's that tight, that's why we go to the emergency fund. So I want to make sure you all understand that. But that's a really good word from Rachel. Okay. Coming up, we got more of your calls, 888-825-5225. We're here for you. I know there's breakthrough coming to somebody today. Let's go. We're here for you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz. We're here for you this hour, 888-825-5225. Rachel, it's finally here. We are back on the road. Ramsey Solutions events are happening again. And I'm very excited about this. The Building Wealth Live event is coming to Las Vegas and Orlando this May. And this is a big topic right now. A lot of opinions on how to do it. Crypto, single stock, zero down real estate. Seems like everybody wants to get rich, and seems like everybody's giving advice. Oh, boy. Stay off of Instagram with the financial advice, will you please?
And Twitter.
Yeah.
Throw that in there.
So we want you to join me, Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and Dr. John Deloney as we unpack these hot topics. And John and I are pumped because we're going to lead a free bonus session before the main event. We're going to talk through how to balance your work and relationships so that you can live a richer, more fulfilled life. So get ready, Las Vegas. We're coming to you Thursday, May 5th. Orlando will be in your beautiful town on Thursday, May 19th. And rumor is that Rachel might wear her Mickey ears on the stage in Orlando. You have to show up to see if this is true or if it's rumor. And we're also excited because we've just confirmed 4 more cities. Stay tuned. More on that next week. So we are ramping up the bus, and we're coming to a town near you. Tickets for this Building Wealth event start at just $25, or you can get a 4-pack for only $60. It's a great deal. Don't wait. RamseySolutions.com/events. That's RamseySolutions.com/events. Are you excited?
I was going to say, how pumped are you, Ken?
I'm actually really excited.
We announced it on Monday on the show, and I was like, I just can't wait.
I'm very excited.
Events, man.
Yeah,
we're
I missed
ready
the live crowds.
I know.
And you and I have done a lot of events together. I was talking about this when I was on the show with Dave a couple weeks ago. We do a good job. Our live events team does a really great job of creating a great mood in the room. It's not boring, and it's just fun. We always have a great time. The energy's there. People are there to get better and to win in life, and that kind of is infectious. Even for us on the stage, we feel it from the audience, and it's so much fun being with a live crowd. I can't wait to be in a capacity crowd again.
I know. Oh yeah. So man, Vegas and Orlando, two fun, great cities.
Very fun cities.
We are pumped. We're pumped to be with y'all.
All right, I'm going to make sure that they pack her Mickey ears. We'll see if we can get her to wear them on stage.
And
I've been telling the audience that we're going to try to get a tiger at the Vegas stage as well. So, we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
A lot of insurance forms on that. All right, Sophia is going to join us now in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Sophia, how can we help?
Hi, how are you?
We're having a blast.
Fan.
Oh, that's very nice. What's going on with you?
Yes. Okay, so I wanted to know how I go about, owning my first home. Currently, I own a mobile home, and I just found out it went up in value. I'm just not too sure whether I should rush into getting my own home instead of staying here for a couple of years and just saving up. So I just wanted to know, how do I go about, getting into my first home, carefully? Because it's a huge, step owning a home.
For sure. Well, it's a great question. And the idea of you being in more of a brick and mortar situation versus a mobile home, I love just for long-term value and everything. So I think it's a really smart first step that you're even thinking about this, Sophia. So kind of our formula that we talk about when buying a home. So this is for your first home. This is for your fourth home, for those of you listening. But the formula is that to have at least 10 to 20% of it for your down payment saved for a down payment. And then your payment should be no more than 25% of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. And so you're going to go and see, what you can afford and what the bank will give you from a mortgage standpoint. But I also would warn you, Sophia, that right now, obviously the housing market is it's crazy right now. And be careful not to get emotional about it, though, because you're going to see that top dollar that they're going to allow you to take out. But that top dollar may not be what you need to take out. You may not need to take out all of that. Again, run the numbers, that formula I just told you, to see, okay, what does this feel like with my numbers and my money? What's realistic here? Because the home buying process, it is, if you find a home that you love, you can get in this emotional state. And people, I just saw a stat, Sophia, literally today, that millennials will pay close to $100,000 over asking price, even when they don't, even if they don't have the money to do that, to get the house that they want. So the bidding war thing is so true, and you can get caught up in that. So I would just go with a lot of caution, Sophia, a lot of caution.
Also, because I'm trying to, invest. I do have a 401k. I do have a Fidelity account, and I've been investing in stocks and crypto. So I kind of want to juggle that I could still do those things. And
do you have debt right now, Sophia?
To get a home. No, I have no debt.
And did you say, I thought I heard you say this, I'm just correct, I want to make sure I'm correct on this, that your mobile home has gone up in value? Did you say that at the start of the call?
Yeah, I actually found out it went up in value. I don't know if it's because what's going on right now. I got it for a really good price. It wasn't expensive, and I just found out it did go up in value. And
so you paid cash for it, is that right?
Yes.
How much is it worth right now?
About 45.
Interesting.
I paid 21.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I've never heard of a mobile home going up in value. One of the things I would just encourage you to do is let's get some real hard evidence, maybe 2 or 3 different real appraisals on that. Rachel, the reason I'm asking that is because selling that mobile home at its height is a strategy that I would recommend. I don't know what your thought is on this, and then let's put that towards, and then maybe go down and rent for a bit until she gets that down payment to where we like, since she has no debt. I would also pause all that investing for the time being to really juice that down payment. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're in a position, Sophia, that you're able to sell it at a tight and you have a buyer and everything, like Ken said, go rent an apartment or something for a year, pause everything else, save up for that big down payment, and that will really springboard you into that home buying process.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do there, and be smart. And again, what Rachel told you is the formula, and that's going to protect you. One other quick point for those that are kind of feeling that crunch right now, and Rachel's right. People are seeing the escalating house prices, and so what they do is they go, I've got to buy now. I've got to overpay because they're going to keep going up. And I would tell you, I think that housing prices are going to start to cool off and reset at some point. And so patience is the key here.
Yeah.
A house, a great house, a house that is wonderful, maybe even described as perfect for your family, is still going to be there. Don't get sucked into that, I've got to buy now or I'm going to even keep paying higher prices.
Yes. So that's, and even the idea of having options. I feel like that's one thing.
Yeah.
I learned from my parents. They would always say in a situation, but I'm like, this is the only thing. This is the only way I can do it.
Yeah.
They're like, no, pause and look at all of your options. So Sophia, even bringing in the rent conversation that Ken did, that is a different option. If you did find a great deal on a home and you don't feel like you were overpaying, it's what you wanted, and you're able to just kind of transfer that money, that $45,000 to the down payment, you get that ball rolling quicker. That's great too. There's a lot of options here, but looking at the wisest thing for you, I think if you're able to sell it at the height of where it's at, I'm like,
I'd jump on that. Absolutely. You just think about the exercise, run the exercise of how long, if I didn't sell the mobile home and it is going to eventually devalue, and then you're left with really not much of an asset at all. So how many months would it take you to save up $40,000? And that'll help you with that mental hurdle to go, woo.
Yeah.
Go get yourself a decent apartment. Renting in this case is not throwing money away.
No, it's being very wise.
And I'm very nervous about the crypto investing, because right now all you got to do, don't take my opinion, just go pay attention to the news. Watch how that stuff is extremely volatile right now.
It's wild. Wild.
It's crazy. I wouldn't touch it.
And it's something if you want to do later on down the road, because you're investing in your 401k and Roth, and you're paying off the house, and you're being smart about stuff. But man, I wouldn't dabble on it. Right, I would not dabble in it right now if I were you, Sophia.
Sophia, thank you for the call. Proud of you for being debt-free. Stay that way. All right, coming up next, more of your calls. It's a free call, 888-825-5225. She's Rachel Cruz. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show. If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman. The Ramsey Show continues from our Nashville-based headquarters. Thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Today's question comes from Devontae in Chicago. I'm a recent college grad with $50,000 in mostly student loan debt. I'm 25 and I work 2 jobs as a delivery driver at $16 an hour and another with a local news program at $14 an hour. I'm looking to grow professionally as a videographer. My skills are in media, TV productions, and marketing. I've heard many success stories where people have grown their videography business and are making over 6 figures per year. What's your best advice on how to clear debt and grow my savings so I can then support myself as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the debt side of this, Devontae, is that we teach the Debt Snowball. So if all of that $50,000, which I'm sure it is broken up into multiple loans, keep them separate and list them out smallest to largest. And you're doing a great job working your two jobs. And I think you're at a point that you're able to live your lifestyle extremely low. And so you're going to be doing nothing except for working, which means you may even add on another job in addition to these two, and putting everything towards that student loan. And ideally is that your skills and everything that Ken's probably going to talk about here in a second, but that as you grow, your income's going to grow too. So you're not going to just stay at this position where you're at. It'll take some time, but the point is to get that income up where you can and be focused on those loans, because the student loans is the one type of debt that people just sit with, because it is so normal and they're just not in this like urgent state. And then they've even pushed back the student loan payment even recently this week. So it's like there's not a lot of urgency. So create that urgency in you to put as much money towards that smallest loan as possible.
Yeah, and the reason I love this advice, Devontae, is paying off the debt really is the first step as it relates to you doing the dream job, which is working for yourself as a videographer. Once we clear that debt, now we've opened up 2 main things. Number 1, we freed your finances, which takes off a tremendous amount of stress for you, and now you can invest in yourself as you walk the baby steps out. So we're going to get that emergency fund, which is going to be huge. That's baby step 3 for an entrepreneur. Having that emergency fund is so vital. The other thing it's going to do for you is that mentally, you're going to be able to dream a whole lot more and be able to see what a future looks like, because you now realize I can fund my future. Mm-hmm. It's not such an impossible mountain. So what I would tell you is do exactly what Rachel said. I would like to see you get to a point where we can make the same amount of money in one day job. So you've got 2 jobs and go gazelle and get out of debt. But I'd like to see you eventually work for somebody who has a videography type business. So for instance, this local TV job is in that space. It'd be great if you could work full-time for a local production company, and that one full-time day job pays you what you were making with the 2. Now here's the second step. Then you begin to do side hustles, contract here or there as a videographer, and begin to build your reputation, and also company XYZ, we'll call it that, okay? Devontae's production company for a horrible name. But we'll begin to put all that money, because now we're debt-free and we have an emergency fund, put all of that side hustle money into the side hustle bank account. And I want to see you build that up to where you've got 6 months of your day job income in Devontae's production company bank account. Then we step into the dream job. We don't jump.
Yes.
That's how I'd like to see him do that.
It's a big deal because I feel like a lot of people are shifting.
Entrepreneurial starts are huge.
I mean, it's just wild. So there's a real move there to be made eventually for sure, which I just love. I love seeing that. I love people that are kind of self-starters.
I do too. And this is how the baby steps work as it relates to what we're helping you do, as it relates to work you love. The financial component is massive. You can do them side by side, but you've got to have your financial house in order. All right, let's get to the phones. Michael is up next in Tampa, Florida. Michael, how can we help?
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
So I recently have been looking into web development. So right here in the state in Florida, and I reached out to the instructor, and when he reached back out, he recommended that I don't take the web development course because his concern was about how competitive my resume would be versus going for software engineering, which has web development in it. So, and he's recommending that I do that while I'm in school, I can get a job, because web development the courses are breaking up into pieces in web development. And it would take me approximately a year for web development versus 2 to 4 for the associates in software engineering. But I had concerns about doing that because of my current living situation. Like, should I go to school that long or should I not?
So the end result for you is what? Truly to be a web developer?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of ways to get there. What do you mean by your living arrangements? Can you be more specific so I know what you're facing?
Okay, so me and my wife, we still work full time. My wife is also in school now. Well, she works part time and she's in school, and I still work full time, and we have 5 children.
Wow. Okay.
So that forces me to go part time, and he said part time would take me over approximately almost 3 years. If the class is fully online for software engineering, but web development would take me a year.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, in my opinion here, I think he's giving you some decent advice, except that there are multiple paths. So I wouldn't compare one of those paths to the other. I understand what he's saying, and I don't disagree with him, but I also know for somebody who wants to be in web development and the web development training is less time and money, I'm going to go do that, because here's what I know, Michael, relationships are how you get opportunities. And so if you want to do web developing, taking something that takes longer, and you can only go part-time right now with the 5 kids, wife's in school, I don't want you to flame out. There's an organization that I endorse and Ramsey Solutions endorses called Bethel Tech. I want you to at least call them. They have a 9-month online program, 9 months. And for Ramsey Solutions listeners who can cash flow it, okay, you're going to do it for less than $14,000, 9-month program. I would look at that based on where you are. Now, again, there's other competitors. Kick all of the tires. I want you to look at all the competitors. Yeah. But a multi-year program right now, I know is not necessary for web development, and you can start in the $70,000 range and maybe even get to $100,000. It does not take as long, and it should not cost you near as much to do the web developing versus software engineering. So don't go get a degree or a certification that includes the one thing that you want to do when you can go get that one thing you want to do. Time and money are your most valuable resources right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I want you to do your research. I want you to press pause and get all of the options on the table, Rachel, because I want to see how that fits into their financial plan.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. Here's why I'm saying this, Michael, and I'll give it to Rachel. The work in in web development is always going to be there. I want you to get there the right way.
What are you doing now, Michael?
Well, right now I'm a truck driver.
Okay.
And I need an increase, because outside the next step for me in trucking, if I stay in trucking, going over the road with my own truck, and I can't do that. I think I'm already at the max where I'm at.
For sure.
But also, I want to add that here in state, the instructor I reached out to, that web development course, I already have the cash for it. It was a little over $4,000.
Do it.
But,
you got the cash.
Yeah.
Do it now. Here's
and
the deal.
look at other options too, Michael. He said, Ken said that, but go and price out 3 other routes as well that would give you the same outcome. Again, options will give you power, and it'll bring a lot of clarity.
And I think this guy did give you some good advice. I would look to, are there some side hustles where I can do some contract work in web development to get that resume built up while you're getting fully certified? You got this. Hang in there.
Great job, Michael.
Yeah,
that's
really
awesome.
Appreciate the call. Wow. He and his wife are getting after it. 5 kiddos. Hey, you can do it. Keep your head down. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz. We're here to help you win in your life, relationally, professionally, and financially. So it's a free call to join the conversation. 888-825-5225. Let's go to La Crosse, Wisconsin, where Mark joins us. Mark, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
So the question, before my wife and I got married, it'll be 13 years in October.
Congrats.
We took the financial piece. Oh, thank you. We had a choice between financial peace or marriage classes, and I said financial peace. She said marriage classes. We did both. Anyhow, I recently lost my job in July, and this past October I got a different job, and I've been listening to you guys on podcasts. Anyhow, the whole point of the question is, since we were married, we have had separate checking and savings account, and then a joint savings for tax refunds and whatnot. My question for you guys, I recently listened to your podcast yesterday and, talking about combining everything. And I asked her about it, and she really wasn't on board with it because we've been doing it for so long, and it's not really broken. So she's like, why do we need to fix anything if it's not broken? So my question for you, just keep doing things the way we have been. There hasn't been any real financial issues.
Yeah. So
I'll just say for pretty much we're almost debt free. So
that's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, you called. Rachel can help you with this, but I'm just curious before she dives in here. Why you called asking if it's okay, which tells me you may or may not think it is okay, or one of you thinks it's okay and one of you doesn't. Am I right or am I wrong?
I think it's relatively okay, but listening to you guys and previous podcast, you guys are like really saying that if marriage is working well, it's the best idea to do it.
I got it. So you're kind of wondering. All right, tell him, Rachel.
Yeah, and that segment, that was with John Deloney and myself. Yeah, and we talked about a study that we found from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, and it talked about how they did a study that, when couples pool their money together, they actually experience greater relational satisfaction or are less likely to break up. Because here's the deal, Mark. Now, could the dollars and cents work with how you're doing it? Sure, absolutely. It could, literally, like you said, nothing's been broken. It could work.
Yeah.
But what I would argue is that it could be so much better because the things that you guys don't even know are there, and or the things that are not even being talked about because you are living in these separate checking accounts, that's the stuff that you miss out on. Because there is this level of kind of independence. I'm doing my thing over there, you're doing yours. But when you throw everything together, it's like it's a clash and a explosion in a good way that makes you kind of rethink things in a sense that, like, man, she's going to see that purchase, or he's going to know that I went there. And not that you're intentionally trying to hide anything, but there's just this level of openness that's there when you have your money together. So my thing would be, yeah, it may be working okay, but how much better could it be? Because it's going to force conversations that you're not forced to have right now. And again, not even just money conversations. Like Winston and I, we go through our week to talk about like, okay, so what does our evenings look like? Because we got to figure out, are we picking up Chick-fil-A after the girls' gymnastics, or am I cooking? Like what's happening? And you end up talking about the out to eat budget. You end up talking about what's going on in life and calendars. And man, this feels really busy right now. I know I'm exhausted. I know I've missed seeing you. Like you end up in all these other conversations that combining your accounts brings. So it's not just the tactical side of money that you benefit from, but it's the relational side. Yeah. So that's what I would push you guys on. Do you feel a nudge, Mark, to do it differently? I know you heard us talk about it on the podcast, but do you think it would bring like a level of richness that's not there right now?
I feel like we communicate really well now. Like the only debt we have is truck payment, and we just talk about it. So we want to knock it out quick, and she's putting money each check, and it comes directly out of my checking account, and we're just trying to. We communicate well to start with, but like you said, I get to hold each other accountable. Like for example, our oldest daughter's in softball, so she went and got the batting helmet, and then I went and got the bag and the fielding mask. So I mean, we're pretty open with each other about everything, but I can see your point about.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
you. Holding each other accountable, you know?
So you feel like you are holding each other accountable?
I think we just trust each other.
Yeah. Let me tell you the flip side of this, because we get this call a lot on the Ramsey Show. Couples with separate accounts, Rachel, good people, well-meaning people. And when you have separate accounts and you're not really accountable, so you don't know what he has, she has, whatever. And we get the call, we had separate accounts, and my spouse ran up tens and tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt, and I just found out about it. That temptation could hit anybody. I mean, nobody's above that.
Yes.
So there's no judgment here. I'm just saying that's the reality of this when we have separate accounts, and then one person goes, well, I kind of get to do whatever I want to do in this.
Yeah.
And then maybe they get themselves in a hole.
Yeah.
We hear about gambling problems. We hear about spending problems. We got a call just last week, separate accounts. And the wife found out that the husband had racked up nearly $100,000 in credit card over legal fees for custody for a child from a previous marriage. She just found out about it.
Yeah.
This is bone-crushing kind of stuff.
And I would say, too, and I would be curious your thoughts on this, Ken, because this is how passionate I feel about it, Mark, is that you can go down like that road. What Ken just described for sure happens, 100%. But what even made me like, kind of like cringe is that their daughter plays softball and she goes and buys part of the equipment and he goes and buys the other part. Do you know what I'm saying, Mark? Like there's just this level of a division that you're like, no, we're all supposed to go and buy the stuff, and it comes out and it's not a big deal. It's the dividing roommate.
Yeah, it's weird.
Feeling.
So like,
and I'm not trying to say you're weird, Mark. I want you to hear a lot of grace in this, okay? Because I get that it's working. And it's almost the same mindset when people use credit cards. Like, but I pay it off every month, but you have no idea how much more you're spending when you don't have the emotions attached to your checking account. You don't even know what conversations you're missing out on, Mark, and the things that are dividing y'all because you haven't even done it yet, because you haven't combined it yet.
Rachel, I think you make an incredible relationship point. And that is that we are joint, we are a team, we're not roommates. I could think of example after example, but I'll tell you an example that you made me think of. So we have a daughter, Josie, who's 13, and she and her little friend just decided they wanted to start a bracelet business, these beads.
Yeah.
And I came home the other night, and one of the first things in the door, Stacy said, hey, I got to let you know, Josie came to me today. She's all excited about starting this little business. So I told her we would invest, we would buy the first supplies, helped her with pricing, all that stuff. So this was a couple's moment where she was just proud to say, this is Josie's idea. I went out and it was $40 for all the things.
Yeah.
It wasn't a accountability issue, but it was this idea that it could have been shin guards.
Yes.
Cleats.
Right.
You name the other. But it was like, we had a fun little conversation. It was like, that's awesome.
Yes.
And that's a joint account. We tell each other, we can see what we spend.
Yeah.
You don't even have to hold someone accountable when you're just open.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. The accountability thing, that term, I feel
it
like
does feel weird to people.
It's a little overused too, of like, I'm going to keep you accountable, where it's like, no, I'm actually going to just know what's going on. And we're like married.
I can't spend something without her knowing.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Right.
So that is built in, but I don't feel like, ugh.
Yes, totally. So yeah, it's a real thing. Again, study after study. Another one, that one that we just talked about that came out last week. That you just have a greater level of satisfaction because you share everything. And John Deloney made the point, and we laugh about it because I'm like, you share your genetics in a child that's running around in front of you. So like, if you can share your bed, if you can share your refrigerator, you share everything.
Share everything.
And the money piece, it may not feel like a big deal because like you feel like it's on the track and it's working. But I'm going to push y'all, Mark. I mean, I would, I would see how your relationship changes, because your marriage changes when you see yourself 1,000% as one.
Yeah, totally agree. She's preaching, and she's right. She is Rachel Cruz. I'm Ken Coleman. I want to thank our team in the booth that makes all of this possible. I want to thank you, America, because you're the reason we do the show. It is your show. It is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you live your best life by being healthy relationally, successful professionally, and peaceful financially. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz. We are here taking your calls, your questions this hour. The phone number to jump in is toll-free. It's 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. We know that this is about real life, and so we know these calls can be sensitive and private, so we'll change your name, location, and even some of those details so that we can hopefully get you some practical answers so that you can hopefully move forward. I mean, with hope, on a very clear path forward. That's why we are here. So excited that you have joined us. Let's start it off this hour with Tom in Tampa, Florida. Tom, how can we help?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I had a question on paying off my mortgage. So the wife and I read Total Money Makeover, and we are completely debt-free except for the house.
Wow.
We have thank you. We have a $290,000 mortgage left on the house, but we do have $163 in mutual funds, but we'd have to pull $190 from our Roth contributions, which we are able, but wasn't sure if that was a good idea.
Yeah, how old are you, Tom? Are you over
40?
You're what? I'm sorry?
40?
You're 40 years old.
That's a young man, by the way. Young man, I know. No.
So if there are non-retirement accounts, I would consider it. But your Roth, in order to take money out of retirement, you have to be 59 and a half, not to be penalized. So I would not touch any retirement for any reason except for to avoid a bankruptcy or a foreclosure, which obviously you guys are not in. Do you guys have kids?
5.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What are their ages?
So we got 5, 6, 17, 18, and 20. I'm sorry, 19 and 20.
Wow.
Okay. So half kind of a step out of the house and then 2 in that I'm just thinking college in my head too.
Yes.
What's your income?
About 83 a year.
Okay.
But with the question as well, because from my understanding, we could take out of Roth contributions that we've made, and we can pull from that without taking a hit. But our bigger problem is that we're right now we're at about 35% of our take home for the mortgage payment. So I know that's well above what y'all suggest for 25%.
Yeah, that 25 to 30% for sure is where we usually hit. I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. I still would not touch retirement though. I would not take money out of that retirement. And your mutual fund, you have 163,000 in the mutual fund.
Yeah,
that's not associated with the Roth.
Correct. We have a total of 646 in total investment.
Yeah, you guys have done great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Y'all have done an awesome job.
Rachel, I got to tell you, Tom, listen, I think this is an income thing. I got two eyes for you, income and intensity. I think you could make more than 83, and I think that you can, as a result of that, you can increase your intensity on paying the mortgage off. I wouldn't touch those mutual funds at all. You guys, I mean, I understand the formula that we talk about, but because you guys have no other debt, that's why Rachel's not concerned about that. I wouldn't touch that investment money. That is in a good place. You're only 40 years of age. Over the next 25, 30 years, that's going to be a tremendous amount of money. You've shown great discipline to this point. My goodness, 5 kids and doing all of this. I think it's an income increase and an intensity increase in paying off the home. I don't think you need to touch that money. I wouldn't personally if I was in your shoes.
So I guess that's part of the question then, because I'm a government employee and my wife is at home with the kids.
Sure.
So increasing the income would be pretty difficult.
Only if you stay in the government. I understand that. The government's going to give you those gradual increases and you largely have no ladder. But how can your talent and skill plus experience transfer to the private sector where we're in the hottest job market in the history of our nation? Tom, are you interested in looking outside of government work?
Yes, sir.
Do you suffer with a little bit of doubt as to whether or not you could cut it or no one will hire you because you've worked with the government for so long?
No.
Good. Then what are we waiting on? I'm serious. What are you waiting on? What do you do? Describe what you do, the type of work.
Well, I'm a surveyor with private police and other background.
Okay, great. So can you you don't have to list them for me right now, but can you think of 3 or 4 other jobs in the private sector that would allow you to do that kind of work, similar work? And even if you had to get some basic training, you could springboard off of this? Can you think of 2 or 3 things?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Do you have any idea? If you don't, it's okay, but I want you to go research it. Do you have any idea what those pay, what those career opportunities are beyond just that getting in, what advancement might look like? Do you know those numbers?
No, I don't.
That's your homework assignment. I think you got to be able to see what's out there. Okay, so let's just say that you can get a job in a local gig. You're not moving the family, no uprooting, and it's private sector, and you're making $115,000. Would you jump on that? Yes or no?
That's still difficult because the stability of the government job with
let me tell you something. That is a total lie, and I want to set you free of that. The government stability is like saying, because it's the government, I'm never going to get laid off. I'm always going to have a place to work. And that's not true, number one, but it's also that it's saying that the private sector is risky. It's not risky, Tom. It's not risky at all if you can provide value. So
I think a couple of options, Tom, you can take from your original question. If you want to take a little bit out of the mutual fund to throw out the house to make you feel a little bit better, you could. Ken wouldn't touch it at all. Again, we're not touching any retirement. That's an option. Looking to see, is there even getting my income up? Is there a great opportunity? Is there a move there that would take that 35% of your take-home pay going to your mortgage down to 25%? Even 29%. I don't care, but it lowers that percentage so you guys can actually gain some traction. Or I'll give you a third option, Tom, because I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, the housing market right now is just insane. But running numbers and looking, I don't know, is there another option for your home of where you could go? It's not crazy. If it was 50% of your income, I would be telling you to move. But you guys are teetering enough in life because of your debt-free, all of it. Your income could change depending on a job move. Like, things can kind of start happening to get that percentage down. So I'm not worried. If you want to throw some out of the mutual fund to the mortgage, you can, but I would just keep chipping away.
You're in great shape, Tom.
Doing great,
You really
Tom.
are. Figure out the best way to pay this mortgage down. We gave you some options. And please just look, see what could be for you.
Ken wants you to have a new job, Tom.
Oh, I want him to make more money.
Yes.
Because I want him to pay off that house. He's 40. The market needs him. This is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
Welcome back, America. You are joining the conversation here on The Ramsey Show. So thrilled that you have joined us. It is all about your life, and we want to help you win. I'm Ken Coleman. Rachel Cruz joins me this hour in studio, and we are here to take your calls. It is a free phone call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Rachel and I were out during the break shaking hands and saying hello to folks. It's always nice to see people from all around the country, and I like to mention, we'd love to have you join us. It's free. There's no ticket cost. We've got cold beverages, hot beverages, baked goods. Come see us, RamseySolutions.com. We'd love to see you. It's always great to see fine folks. And we've got a great crowd out in the lobby today.
I know. It's that spring break. I feel like people swing through.
That's right.
All right. It is fun, though.
Let's get back to the phones. Baltimore, Maryland, home of the Orioles in Major League Baseball. I like the random facts for you.
Would not.
You would have not have known
I would have gone Ravens. That's the only sporting team I know about.
Well,
Baltimore.
the Orioles are been around much longer, so I had to give them some
love. I bet Sam knows all about it. Sam, are you a baseball or football, Sam, fan?
Hi,
hello,
guys.
Sam.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Rachel asked you, are you a Ravens fan or a Orioles fan, or both?
I grew up an Orioles fan with Cal Ripken and Eddie Murray.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
I can't even say that word.
Hey, Sam, true story.
Orioles?
She's never even heard of the Baltimore Orioles until moments ago.
I've heard of it. I know. That's right.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you so much for the call. How can we help?
Well, I hope you can hear me clearly.
We can.
And God bless you both. Okay, great. I am the 180 from the last caller, Ken. I have the proximity principle sitting in my car next to me.
It's awesome.
Someone
Go ahead.
play that needs to be shaped into something. And I've had a very difficult battle trying to shape myself into something that the market wants to buy, if that makes sense to you.
Okay. Why what do you want to do? What have you tried to shape yourself into? It feels like there's some intentionality there, but it hasn't worked out. What have you been trying to shape yourself into?
Well, I'd say trying to do too many things and intellectualizing them and not offering the market one specific thing has maybe been a problem for me.
Good.
And
that's very good analysis.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I glean wisdom from Dave and you guys and everyone in the Bible, but I have been too many for too little value. And what I probably want your advice on is to kind of, along with your book and along with the videos and YouTube and everything, try to really settle on something, hard into it, say, this is for me, I can do it, I'm intentional about it, and I wake up every day.
Okay.
But I have trouble marketing myself, Ken, and whether on LinkedIn or
Yeah, Sam, I don't think that's your problem. I think you did a great job of analyzing your challenge earlier. And I think the marketing yourself is, I can give you some techniques and some resources on that. But I think the issue is you've tried to be too many things. And in trying to describe yourself to others, you're not really clear. And so I want to simplify this really quick. I'm going to ask you 3 really simple questions, and I want you to answer them, okay? But I'm going to give them to you one at a time, right after another, and then answer all 3. You ready? Who are the people you most want to help? What problem do they have or desire? And then what solution or solutions to that problem or desire do you get most excited about offering? Now, answer that for me. Roll right through that, because I think you have an answer. Be super specific.
I really have to answer the first is I want to help myself. Now, that may sound egotistical, but from the places I've battled to come up, if I'm in a place of mental health and physical health, I help so many others when I'm healthy. So,
okay. So again, I appreciate the answer. You're being too pure, and I've just found out what's really going on with you. Would you, if I interviewed everybody that knows you, would they say that you're an over-analysis kind of guy, an overthinker?
That would be the understatement of the year. You're not talking to me right now. That would be saying you're not talking to Sam in Baltimore. Yes, my mind tells me not to act.
And that's okay.
I deceive myself.
So, Sam, I didn't ask you that question to embarrass you. I asked you that question to set you free, because here's the deal. You're talking to somebody who does that, all right? So we got to stop thinking. You didn't even answer my question. Who are the people you most want to help? Tell me right now. Who are they?
The people I most want to help are people who have been in the same situation as me. So once I rise, I will help them rise.
I appreciate, but you're still not answering it. You got really close. What are they dealing with? Those people that have the same challenges, or they've come through, or they're struggling with what you did. What is that? Tell me.
Okay, I think the people I most want to help is what the market towards me for helping. Just like that.
You broke up. We were so close. You broke up. Who are the people you most want to help?
I think you got me.
Well, I can't understand you, unfortunately. So here's what we're going to do. He's breaking up so bad. Let me just kind of walk through a couple other quick steps here, and then I'm going to give you 2 things, Sam. I'm going to give you the Get Clear Career Assessment. It's a 20-minute assessment that I created, and it's going to give you some very clear details about yourself. Just answer honestly. Don't overthink. Then I'm going to give you From Paycheck to Purpose. Think of these 2 tools. One is the compass. One is the guide up the mountain. But here's the process that I want you to walk through before you get these tools. At the end of the day, Sam, you and everybody else, when we find work that we really love, it is always going to be attached to people. Whether directly or indirectly, the work that you do, you will see a result from your work that you can say, this is helping people. Give an example. Somebody could love being a software developer and love that work, and they never really see people that their software may touch. But they know that if they come to Ramsey Solutions, for example, and they develop software or they develop a website or an app, they can see that it is providing transformation to somebody that they may never meet. We've got to understand that there's always a direct or indirect connection to people, Rachel, when we do work. And so the reason I ask those questions is because people get so hung up on a job title. I don't care about job title. I don't even care about career path. I first want to know, who do I want to help?
That's good.
Why do I want to help? And that's that problem or desire they have. By the way, if you want to design shoes for women, that's a desire. That's just as worthy as solving a problem. So we really want to get behind what's that personal connection. So, Sam, those are the reasons for the questions. I want you on your own to answer those questions. I want you to stop thinking, put some answers down. I want you to get 4 or 5 people in your life who are truth tellers, who know him very well, to check those answers.
Yeah.
And then take the assessment and read the book.
So good. So I have the answer for me, but I want to hear the answer for you.
Great.
Why is it that you start with who are the people you want to help? That's the first question. It's not what's your passion in life.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like why do you start with that?
Because we long to make a contribution to this world. Like every human, I don't care what your faith is, your politics, what country you're from, what race, everybody wants to make a contribution to this world. So the reason I ask it in the form of who are the people you want to help, two reasons. Number one, we kind of I'm trying to shut their brain down and get their heart to answer.
Yeah.
Because they will, by the way, even the people that struggle on the air, and this is hard to do.
Yeah, totally.
So this is nerve-wracking. But their heart begins to fill in the answer because they're connected to a person, and it's almost always connected to past pain. Whether we experience the pain directly or we saw someone else go through the pain. For about 2 or 3 minutes, we find that what was really going on, they had the idea, but they needed validation that they had what it took to be able to do it. So I start with people first, and then I'm trying to drive deeper into, well, you told me these people, you want to help them. What's that specific problem or two that you get excited about?
Yep. So good.
That's why we do that. We want to turn our brains off, because when you start thinking about job future, career path, that's intimidating.
Yeah.
And I understand that. And you know this, I teach this. I want people to know, a lot of people new to all of us Ramsey personalities from time to time. I don't believe there's just one dream job for everybody. I believe that you and I are both in our dream jobs, but I also know there are other dream jobs. What makes that true? Any job where I can use my talent, what I do best, to do work I love, that's passion, to produce results that directly matter to my values, that's your simple dream job description. So loosen up, engage the heart. Sam, hang on the line. We're going to get you some great resources.
Good luck to you, Sam. You're a great guy.
Yes.
So pure.
And boy, do I understand overthinking. Woo! I'm an overthinker in the Hall of Fame. Hey, don't move. Rachel and I aren't going anywhere. Don't you? Because more of the Ramsey Show is coming up right around the corner.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back, America. You are joining The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz, and we are here to take your phone calls. You want to win financially, you want to win relationally, you want to win professionally? Sure you do. How can we help? We are here for you. Breakthrough is one phone call away, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Let's go to Tampa, Florida. Nathan is on the line. Nathan, how can we help?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
We are having a blast. What's going on with you?
Good. I'm actually calling with a good problem to have.
Okay.
So, I just got accepted into grad school. I got accepted into 2 programs, and I was hoping if I could get some financial advice because I want to make a good decision and pick a track that will be in a field that's more lucrative in the long term. I got accepted into a strategic intelligence program and a project management program. And I'm going on a free tuition waiver because I work at the school that I got accepted to.
Nice.
Great. And I'm just trying. Yeah. So right now I'm in between baby steps 3 and 4. So,
Good.
Building up my emergency fund, investing in my retirement. And I just want to make the best decision to go into a field that kind of sets me up better in the long run. So what do you guys suggest as to what I should do from a career aspect?
That's a great question. So I want you to describe the PM, I know, project management. What was the first one you said? And give me like a little bit of detail around that.
It's an MS in strategic intelligence, so things like counterterrorism. I can work for like the FBI or the CIA or something along those lines.
That's kind of where I thought in my head, but then I thought, or a project manager. Those are two very different routes, Nathan.
Mm-hmm. So the question has to be, which one are you leaning towards? Which, if you look at the paths that those specific areas of study open up, which one is most attractive to you? Just the feeling, it just feels better when you think about it.
I'm teetering. I'm right at 50-50, mainly just because I like to make my decisions based on where I think the industries will go in the future. And all right, hold on. Set myself up best financially.
All right, you're a smart guy, and you're crushing it, by the way. Let's remove your brain for a second, because I got great news for you. Project management is one of the most versatile studies of discipline. It's extremely versatile in that you can do project management for so many different industries, so many different types of organizations, and then even more exciting about project management, there's a ladder for you to grow. I mean, you can really move up into an executive level over time by continuing to deliver as a project manager. So I want to tell you something. That's a fantastic path. And then the other path, kind of call it counterterrorism, maybe even artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. Yes.
That's where I go.
Yes, Action Star. I forgot to mention that. That'll pay you $20 million a film. So there you go. I mean, both of those have tremendous upside. So let's remove, because I heard what you did, and I like the way you answered that. You're very strategic. Let's shut the logic down, because I think I've made the case. Both of those are great financial opportunities for you. So let's remove that. What is your heart most interested in either one of those paths?
Well, I got my undergrad in sport management, and I always wanted to go back to that field, but I learned quickly with COVID and entry level that the pay wasn't there, the opportunity wasn't there. It's part of why I moved to Florida, and I would love to get back into that field, and I feel like both industries could get me back there someday. So I'm more leaning along the lines of where Tampa will be in the next 10 years, what field would I want to be in, you know?
Well, if you want to get back into sports management, which is essentially be a sports executive one day, am I right?
Yes.
I would go the project management route, because the counterterrorism is that's a whole different ball game. Are the skills transferable? Is the experience transferable? I think you can make that case. But if I want to get into sports management, I want to prove that I was a really good numbers, process, systems guy, because that's what they're looking for. These big-time pro organizations, all of them now have entire staffs that largely don't know much at all about what happens on the field or the court, but they're crunching numbers, they're looking at data. So if that's where you want to go, I would lean towards project management. Rachel?
Yeah, I mean, if that's your end game, because that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I think it's smart to ask, okay, so what are each industry, where's it going to be? But, I mean, I think both cases, I think you're fine, Nathan. I think it's just to say, hey, in 10 years, what would your perfect world be? What would you be doing? Yeah. And what are the things that you can do to get you there? But you're still, how old are you, Nathan?
23 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you're still young and in a great way to say, God, you have so much time ahead of you. Even if you changed courses, Nathan, in 10 years, it's okay.
Good.
It's
very
okay.
Good point. Can I ask you why you're so hung up on being in Tampa for a long period of time? Tampa's great. Love Tampa. Got friends there.
Originally, I'm from Connecticut, so I wanted to get out of the cold. But the biggest thing is like Tampa is the big economic, hub right now, innovation hub. So when I got an opportunity to work with the school, I knew they had like the employee tuition waiver. I know you guys are big on avoiding debt, so
Smart.
I'd be able to finish my master's debt free.
Good.
So I just wanted to be here and involved in everything going on.
I get it. So here's my point.
Get my footing.
I'm just going to play older brother for a moment. Don't limit yourself to Tampa, with the training and what you're going to be doing. I love that you're doing this debt-free. The best
do the
is
schooling
yet to
here, because you've got the situation.
But open your mind up to multiple markets throughout the country for opportunities. Tampa is not your only place that you can be successful. So, I wouldn't give up on the sports management, but I do like the non-traditional route. And I love the project management is probably which way I would lean. But Rachel's right. Both of these are fabulous industries that pay well and provide for advancement. So I like that.
It's a great question.
What a sharp young guy.
I know.
No debt. And see, Rachel, this is very interesting. Here's a guy who figured this out. He's like, now if I go here and I do this, I can get master's level education for $0.
It's amazing. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I love that.
There's so many 33-year-olds, Nathan, that wish that they were you at 23.
Isn't that the truth? That is so true. All right, let's go next to Burlington, Vermont. Landon is on the line there. Landon, how can we help?
Hi there, Rachel, Lynn, Ken. How are you guys today?
Doing great. How can we help?
So 3 short pieces of background. I am currently a University of Vermont student. My major is computer science, minors in stats and math. I will be graduating in May. And then second piece for you is that I just got married in July 2021 to my lovely wife, Sarah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. And then finally, the third piece of background is that we are currently on baby step 4 because I was fortunate enough to go to UVM for $1
wow.
because of a calculation mistake in a grant. But otherwise, it's been fully covered with a massive blessing from the Lord. And I guess our question for you today is we are both very interested.
So do you understand?
What?
Do you understand what he said?
Is that
because
real?
of a clerical error on some grant paperwork?
No, sorry. I just got charged $1 because of a little calculation error, but otherwise it was my grant that covered me.
Oh, okay. The way it sounded is if somebody made an error and you got to hold them to it, you only went for $1.
That's what I thought too.
Okay, I got it. All right, so what's your question?
Anyway, my question is we are both very interested in having a family in the near future, and we are interested in buying a house, but I'm wondering whether we should prioritize saving up for a 20% down payment first or prioritize retirement savings.
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say for you guys, where you're at, you're going to be graduating in May, newly married, all that. Are y'all going to stay in the area that you're at currently? Are you guys looking to move? Is that going to depend on the job? What's your plan in the next 6 months?
So funny that you ask. We are interested in moving. One of the places that I just applied to, mostly out-of-state jobs is what I'm applying to, but I just actually applied to Ramsey Solutions yesterday.
Oh, that's cool, Landon. Maybe we'll see you in Nashville.
Yeah, we'll
so
see.
I would say, depending on, I would wait, pause, figure out what city you guys want to live in, figure out the job situation, wait a year, rent, you're fine, and then press play on saving up for the down payment and then retirement. But just pause for a year. If you want to go ahead and open up a Roth or something, you can do that, but I would wait to buy a house.
I love that advice, and you're already in baby step 4, so you're off and running. Good for you. Appreciate the question. Wow. Will Landon make it to Ramsey Solutions? I don't know. We won't be able to answer that anytime soon. Don't move. We can't answer your questions. Coming up, this is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz. Thrilled to have you with us. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. All right, Rachel, a very interesting phenomenon going on right now of what they're calling boomerang employees. All right, so kind of set the context for this. Since August of 2021, leading up to the jobs report in March, we've had over 4 million plus people changing jobs each month.
It's crazy.
So we're hurtling towards 30 million people that have changed jobs. So that's one factor, all right? A lot of people leveling up, getting a bigger paycheck. As a result, we've got the lowest unemployment rate we've ever seen, 3.4%. And so there's this hiring war that is going on. I mean, we see it. We showed a picture it went viral on the Ken Coleman Show, a picture of a Panda Express that was offering $68,000 to a manager of a Panda Express plus tuition plus, plus, plus.
Oh my gosh.
We also showed a recent Taco Bell hiring sign that said cell phone breaks included. So instead of smoke breaks, this is for the younger generation. They don't want to smoke a cig. They want to go.
They want to scroll Instagram.
Check TikTok and Instagram.
TikTok.
All right.
See, you're way cooler than I am.
Well,
great.
No, I'm not. Let's
great.
Be honest. You drop that in there? Yeah, they want to scroll. So what's happening is there's big push for hiring. So companies are losing people to somebody else, and employees are going, hey, I can get a 20% bump. I don't blame them, right? So they go, right? So Boomerang employees are two types of people. Some of those people who left jobs, Rachel, in that 30 million are already realizing that the grass was not greener, to use an old phrase. They got there. Recruiters may have sold them a bill of goods, whatever. And they go, it's not what I wanted it to be. And even though I got the bump, I don't like it. Can I go back home? That's one Boomerang employee. And then the second one is the employee who left prior to the pandemic, maybe 3, 4, 5, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But because of technology, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, people stay in touch longer and better. And so companies are now in this employee, they're like, they can't find anybody. And they realize, wait a second, I wonder if Joe, who left us 7 years ago, would want to come back.
Interesting.
So
it's the employers reaching out.
That too. So we have two things going on. Employers reaching out to past people who left well, meaning they didn't burn a bridge.
Sure.
And then these people who have left and realize it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. Can I come back? And so I know in an audience this large, there should be no shame in your game. Is the phrase. If you made a decision and you left well and you feel like the relationship's still there and it's not working out, swallow your pride.
Yeah.
I'd go check. And then if the company comes calling for you and you feel like, all right, man, you know what? I'll go back. I just think it's interesting. It's called the Boomerang Employee. Thoughts on that?
Well, it's funny because the Boomerang generation, right, was a whole other thing. When I was in school and you would come back and live back at home. But the Boomerang Employee, I'm curious how many people left jobs specifically just for a higher salary, higher pay, that are unhappy.
Yeah, we don't have the data on
I know, but I would be curious.
I would love to see
like if anyone out there, if that was you, call in. Because I just want to. I'm fascinated because that's a big thing because it is so competitive out there.
Very competitive.
And if you love the place that you work, but man, someone's going to offer you 15, 20 grand more.
Yeah.
Your mind, it says,
okay, I'm glad you brought this up.
Right? Like,
yeah, so here's a really quick caution to those of you who don't want to become boomerangs, right? Okay, so what do we do? All right, let's understand what happens psychologically when somebody, a recruiter reaches out to you or a friend says, hey, my company's hiring, are you interested? And that company shows interest and they offer you a job. Two things happen that are really hard to overcome. The first thing is you get offered a job and it's more money. That feels good. It's like, whoa, I got more money. I'm going to be able to do this, and this.
Yeah. I've already spent it in my heart.
100%. The second thing that happens is it looks good. We get to tell our coworkers, our friends and family, hey, I had a recruiter reach out and they offered me a job. Don't we all want to be wanted? So there's two big psychological things that you got to be careful.
Yeah.
It's almost like the old advice to sleep on it 2 or 3 days so that you don't make a decision based on the feeling, because that check feels good, bigger check, and then the promotion looks good. It's a little status.
Okay. Tell
it can
me
make
this,
you
though,
make
Ken,
a bad decision.
Because this is your world. I don't live in this world, the career world. But how have you felt like this has been? Because the numbers are staggering. 30 million in just like 4 months or something, right? Have changed. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing? Are you seeing that people are branching out they never would have because they, maybe the money is enticing and they actually are thriving?
Yeah.
Are they finding a setback? Are they like, do you know what I mean? I'm curious. This feels so unstable.
Well, it will eventually calm down. It'll cycle out, but I don't know how soon it's going to cycle out. Here's what's driving it. I think the majority of people are moving because the pandemic created an opportunity for them to level up. They just flat out said, you know what? I'm not treated like I'm super valuable. This is a function of poor leadership and how employees have been treated for a long time. So they're going, wait a second. I don't feel valued. I don't feel like this is super meaningful work to me. So I am going to take that immediate hit, which is a bigger paycheck. Show me the money, the classic line from, I think that's one. And I do think that there are a lot of people that a little bit more on where I'm focused is helping people do something that matters. I do think that the pandemic brought on a massive change. So people got more comfortable with change, which they're not normally comfortable with. Number two, mortality set in. Mm-hmm. They were looking at death numbers scrolling on the screen every day. And I think you start to go, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
So because two things happened. One, people started looking for work that they would really enjoy to go after. And then we saw entrepreneurial starts. So the numbers have been record numbers of people starting small businesses, working for themselves.
Yes.
So all that's in that same thing.
Because there's a flexibility aspect too that people look for more these days than they did 20 years ago.
Some people vowed that they would never go back to the office again. They said, if my company makes me come back, I'm not going back. So very interesting. Let's get back to the phones. Julie is joining us in San Antonio, Texas. Julie, how can we help?
Hi there. I actually have kind of a unique question. I am on baby step 6 and on track to pay off my home in the next 2 years. And I'm scratching my head asking myself, when am I going to have fun? I've been, paying off all this debt and concerned that I'm paying off the house, but the house does need some repairs. And I find myself wobbling between, do I want to pay off a house that needs repairs because I'm not using any money for the repairs, or do I need to save some money and get a new house? It's really funny. I mean, I've enjoyed this whole process.
Yeah.
But now I don't even know how to spend money anymore. It's kind of interesting.
No, we hear that a lot for sure, especially if you've been very motivated on it. Because we tell people once you pay off debt and you have your emergency fund, you can kind of let your foot off the gas, and it's more looking ahead. It's not as that gazelle intensity that we talk about, maybe steps 1 through 3. So how much will the house repairs cost?
The house repairs will probably run about $30,000.
Okay. How much is your house worth?
The house is worth about $260,000.
Okay. Do you like the house? Are you happy where you're at?
I am happy with the neighborhood. I'm happy with the house. However, I do see that there's some improvements needed.
Sure.
And I'm nervous to spend money, honestly.
So it's more
on the repairs.
Yeah, it's more of that. How much do you have left to pay off? You said you have 2 more years.
Yeah, if I keep going the way that I'm going, I have $115,000 to pay off.
Nice. And are these repairs urgent? Are the things that really need to be done now, or you just see, hey, in the next little bit, I probably need to start fixing some stuff?
No, they're not urgent. I've done some of the debt that I paid off were the urgent repairs.
Okay.
So they're not urgent.
That's great. Well, I mean, Julie, 2 years is pretty fast. So I would pay it. I would go ahead, pay off the house, save up money, do the repairs, and all of that, and just force yourself to do it. Say, my house needs to be, I can spend this money. It's good money being spent. You're not just going crazy with it. But I would do that. Because when you don't have a mortgage, you're going to be able to save up that $30,000 so much faster than you will right now.
I love it. And since they're not urgent, I take a little fun vacay. Then come back and deal with all those repairs.
There you go.
You've earned it. You're going to pay your house off. Way to go.
Congrats, Julie.
Hey, Rachel Cruz, thank you. Thanks to our team in the glass. Appreciate you. Thank you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you live your best life by being healthy relationally, successful professionally, and peaceful financially. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Rachel Cruz. We are here for you this hour, 888-825-5225. It's toll free, 888-825-5225. We know that life is hard, And yet we know that there is a way to overcome those challenges and move forward to live the life that you desire. We want to help you do that. Let's go. Emily is going to start us off in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Emily, how can we help?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
So my son is getting ready to turn 18, and we talked about switching our will that he would get the other three children in the event that my husband and I passed, and he wants them, but I just don't know if that's like way too much to put on a kid.
Wow.
My knee jerk is, his entire life would be paused and he'd be taking care of 3 kids. How old are the kids? The other kids?
15, 14, and 10.
Why him? I'm curious. Why him?
Right now we have him with my sister, but her marriage is pretty rocky, and so we've just never had peace. Mm-hmm. And he wants them is what brought it up. He's a freak of a kid. I mean, he's like the best boy. He's always been such a great kid, super responsible. He almost has his associates. So
yeah, he sounds incredible. I mean, to even have this conversation and make it an option.
I can only speak to it from having 3 kids, and we did this many years ago before I was even working with Dave. Dave said, I follow what Dave teaches, and so we put our will together when we had our first. And in our situation, we chose Stacy's sister and my brother-in-law. Obviously, they're a much healthier situation than what you've got, but we had 3 or 4 other options. And I'm just curious do you have other options, even if they're not family, but they're stable friends that would take care of the kids until a certain age?
Yeah, we do have friends that we would definitely love them to go to. It's just, is it okay to tell him no? We don't want to put that on. I mean, because he wanted them.
He's so kind, but I mean, of
course it's okay to tell him no.
Yeah, I mean, as your mom, I want to say how thankful and grateful and how close you can still be to them, right? If God willing, right? And we're hoping none of this happens. This is a worst case scenario situation. But if something were to happen, he can still have a close relationship with them, and even with the friends, having their permission to still live with them if that's what he wants, but to be able to still have the ability to have other options in life. And at 18, I think your frontal lobal cortex isn't even completely
for guys it's 25.
24 or 25, right? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So like as his mom, I think you're loving him very well, that he can still be as involved with them. Because let's be honest too, Emily, if something were to happen to you and your husband, I would pray that the siblings become closer, right? That like you, so you just went through tragedy. So you guys are going to hopefully, that brings you together, especially at these ages. But I wouldn't put the responsibility. I mean, he'll have to be the executor of the will. I mean, he would do a lot. And at 18, I just wouldn't. It's more of a burden than a blessing, I think. But
I agree with Rachel.
And when he turns 21, 20, maybe in like 4 years, you can even change it where the 10-year-old is.
I just don't think he needs to be legal guardian. I love what you said. I think he's big brother. He's their hero. He's their number one influencer. He's intimately involved, but he's not the legal guardian.
Yeah.
Let another couple who they're parents and they're responsible and they can make the big legal decisions, things of that nature, if there would be a trust involved. That 10-year-old.
Well, 10 and 14, they're not driving. He would have to be. He would have to be.
And even at 21, 22, 23, I think it's still too much.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's a good point.
I would say, hey, you're amazing, kiddo.
Oh my gosh, blown away.
But we're going to set you up to where if this awful, horrible, worst case scenario happened, it would not in any way impede your life goals.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be the reason to tell him no and explain why. Yeah. But what an interesting call. Thank you so much for the call. What a great young man that is. Let's go next.
I wasn't asking for my siblings at 18. I'll tell you that much.
That's the truth. Yikes. Let's go to Russell now, who joins us in Tampa, Florida. Russell, how can we help?
Good afternoon, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have a little bit of a complicated situation.
Okay.
I got headhunted by a buddy of mine that works for a consulting firm, and they've offered me a job that is $60,000 more than I make a year.
Wow.
Which sounds great. But here's the problem is I work for a government entity, and they're going through a really tough time now. And I know that I am crucial, if not almost irreplaceable in the situation that they have. I put my notice in because I was expecting to take the job, and then they've come back and they've offered me more money to where the delta is only $35K a year now, and then they've also offered me a vehicle to take home, which is worth, I don't know, about 10 or 15K. So I guess I have a crisis of conscience here, right? Where I love where I work, I love who I work with, but the opportunity is also something I love as well. So
yeah,
I mean,
okay, all right, this is great.
Worst situation to be in.
Yeah, that's good. If you weren't so crucial to them, and they weren't going through a tough time, would you have been calling me with this wrestling match of your head and heart?
I would not.
No. So let me absolve you from what you feel is guilt, and there's nothing. The word guilt comes up a lot in these situations. The word guilt has a legal connotation, and it usually applies to a jury saying that somebody broke the law. Are you breaking the law if you take this great opportunity, Russell?
I am not.
No. All right, let me ask you another question. Are you doing anything unethical? No, you're not.
Unethical, but
no. So hold on a second.
You know,
it's a government entity. They were around before you joined them. They will be around. And if they weren't going to make it with you, or they're struggling to make it with you, they will struggle to make it without you. I'm trying to set you free. You're a great young man. You're a great guy. The very fact that you called with this tells me you are so classy, and you need to go do what's best for you. It's a government organization. They're all horribly run.
Yeah, but he loves it.
Doesn't matter. He also said this other opportunity was better.
Yes.
He loves the people.
Yes.
But this is a better opportunity.
And you feel obligated to take care of.
But you shouldn't feel obligated.
That's what you're saying. Yes.
Take the right opportunity for you and your life. Be classy, but take the right opportunity. Here's why. The very people you're afraid of hurting and upsetting, you will eventually resent if you don't take this opportunity. I would rather disappoint people than resent people.
There's a word for the day.
Big difference. Russell, congratulations. Take the job today. Tell the government, thanks, but no thanks. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Welcome back, America. You have joined The Ramsey Show. So excited that you have. I'm Ken Coleman. Rachel Cruz joins me in studio this hour as we take your calls, 888-825-5225. Okay. I don't know if you're like me, Rachel. I'm sure a lot of these people out there that are watching and listening today are sick and tired of this inflation. Number one, we're tired of seeing it. in our pocketbooks. We're seeing it at the grocery store. We're seeing it at the gas station. We're seeing it everywhere. Mm-hmm. And we're tired of hearing about it and talking about it, all the excuses, one way or the other. It's like, what's going on? But it has some real life effects. And the fact of the matter is, it's got to be changing budgets. If you're not changing that budget out there, it's going to really bite you. But in the other side of things, while it's never fun to see prices rise, we can budget through this, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it hurts. It's not fun.
Yeah,
You're like, man. So the average American budget is going to go up, or I should say the average American should budget for an extra $5,200 this year, according to Bloomberg. The Business Insider put out an article about this. And so I think that's so fascinating that $2,200 of the $5,200 is food, energy, all of that. So it comes down to about an extra $433 a month,
which is substantial.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a car payment is what it feels like, you know?
Wow.
So this is, if you've not been intentional with your paycheck up until this point, if you've not been budgeting, if you've not said, okay, I am going to watch every single dollar, now's the time to do it. This is the kind of thing that if you just don't really look up and you go, this is the time too where people, you know, have credit cards and they're like, oh, I'll pay it off every month. But you slowly start racking stuff up and then, you know, you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? So you have to be intentional, you guys. You have to. And the budget, it's going to help you do that. And you're going to have to probably say no to certain things that you said yes to in the past until this kind of clears. But also the flip side, we've talked so much about jobs and careers, I feel like on this show with you. The flip side is true too, that wages are going up well. It may not be completely correlated, obviously, but I mean, it's getting to the point that like you're looking at all these options.
When the wages go up, we tend to think, oh, we can spend more. And so there's just natural. So if there's no natural discipline, no natural budgeting.
The lifestyle creep.
It's the lifestyle creep. Very well said. You know, it's funny. I was in Los Angeles last couple of days doing some work, and I was in the airport, and I was noticing I'm starting to pay attention to things that I didn't pay attention to in the past. The old snack for the cross-country flight.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy how expensive it's gone up.
Yes.
Stuff before was like a couple bucks, and now it's like $4 or $5.
Yes, totally.
So, you know, we are having a little bit of fun with that, but you start doing that over groceries.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
And everything else. It can catch you quick.
Yeah,
so, wow. So, hey, every dollar. Shouldn't we be telling about that? I feel like we need to tell them about
I mean, it's the best budgeting app. I check it every day, literally. Yeah. Your transactions come in, you connect your bank account. And you watch it and you know exactly what is going on. And again, it's never fun to make the sacrifice or to say, gosh, we're going to just eat in tonight. And, you know, it's not fun to make some of those decisions. But at least you're in control. That's and right. As this passes, that you're not more in a financial hole than when you started. So,
well, you've said it many times. A budget gives you permission to spend. That really connects to people. We hear that all the time. Every dollar is the budget app. Wherever you get your apps, check it out, RamseySolutions.com. Phenomenal budgeting tool that for those of you who've never done it before, it will really help you get started. And you're going to skin your knees a few months as you figure it out. But we do recommend that you check it out. Let's go to Columbia, Missouri, where Amanda joins us. Amanda, how can we help?
Yes. Hi. I'm so glad to be talking to you guys today.
Well, we're happy to talk to you. What's up?
Yes. We are a dual income family with 3 kids, age 5 years, 3 years, and 4 months old. We're on baby step 4, 5, and 6. And right now our 15-year mortgage is less than 25% of our take-home pay.
Wonderful.
However, I desperately want to quit my high-stress job and do stay-at-home mom or part-time. But if I do that, only on my husband's salary, our mortgage goes up to like more than almost 40% of our take-home pay. It's just not doable for us. So my question is, should we consider a refinance of our home or consider moving or consider just paying it off with gazelle intensity before a career change or quit?
How many years do you have left on the 15-year?
We have about 13.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you love the house, Amanda?
We are quite partial to it. We've cash flowed remodel of the house. It's 2 doors down from my parents.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's causing this job to be so high stress?
Uninterested and massive amounts of mandatory overtime.
What's your take home? I mean, what's your gross salary or gross pay?
It's about close to 67.
What do you do?
I work for a major insurance company as a claims specialist.
Rachel, I mean, I'd like to see you look at changing jobs, and it doesn't necessarily have to be $67 for dollar, 67,000. Maybe it's a little bit less money, but it's a whole lot more enjoyable. And again, I mean, if you could replace it with a job making the exact same money and you really enjoy it, that'd be great to go ahead and knock this house out. But I know you want to be home. And so I just think at this point, selling the house is not a good move. I think it's a different place of work. Feels like the best fit right now.
Yeah, it's that. Or Amanda, we're in April right now. So maybe you say, hey, for 3 months, I'm going to work and we're going to put my paycheck in a separate account over here and live off of your husband's salary and to say, okay, what would life feel like?
Oh, give it a shot.
Of what this would be. Because I know as a mom, and I go through Amanda, these seasons where I'm like, I just want to be home with my kids. And if that's where you're at and that's where you're like, man, this is part of getting out of debt. Like you guys are at the point in the baby steps where you're able to make big life changes because you've done the hard work. You don't owe anyone anything. Yeah, you have this mortgage and we'd love the house to be taken care of, but man, to be able to make these decisions in life that you want to make and be home, I would love to see you do that. Unless you kind of still want to work, and what Kim was saying earlier would fit perfect. Where you're like, man, there could be a side thing. I could bring in some money because I think I'd go crazy if I was home all day. I don't know where you're at, but I would give it a test run through the summer, and then because your kids are still little, so summer is 12 months a year, right? I feel like it's not like you have elementary school kids, so.
So you've run the numbers.
That's where the 3 in daycare gets a little.
Yeah. Totally.
Wait a second. So I'm assuming that you've run all these numbers, but Rachel makes a very good point of kind of test running the thing. But let me ask you this: what's the monthly bill for 3 kids in daycare? Round numbers.
It will be around I have a pretty reasonable person for $1,500 a month.
Okay. So right there. So have you run the numbers? I'm guessing you have, but I guess I should ask, are you running the numbers to where you could say, because you said there's no way we could do it on my husband's income. Do you know that for a fact?
Yes. With the mortgage just jumped up with taxes and insurance to $1,285, and with daycare is $1,500, and then his income is about. The actual take-home pay is like $3,300 a month.
Okay, but what if we change those numbers just right here on the air real quick, and we put the $1,500 back into the old pot because you're not having to pay that? You could definitely do it, could you not? You're at home, not even working from home. You're just a mama.
Yes, and his monthly take-home of $3,300 would be about the mortgage would be. Right now, $1,285. It just went up to.
Right, but my point is that $1,500, you guys could definitely do that without paying that child care. Yes or no?
Yes. I had considered also trying to pay off the house real fast because we only owe $114 on it, and since I have ability to do overtime, it felt almost doable.
Well, you got a couple of options there.
It's what you guys want. It's a values question at this point for you. Do you want to be home more, or you want the house paid off faster? What do you want more of? And that's only a question you guys can answer.
We just made that budget a lot fatter with $1,500 because she's now at home with the kiddos.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a season. She can always get another job. She's already stressed out.
You can always go back when they start school again. Maybe you go back.
I like Rachel's test idea. Let's say $1,500 a month for 3 straight months just by being at home. She doesn't like the job anyway. This is the Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined by my colleague, Rachel Cruz, and we are here for you. Tax season is ending soon. Oh, geez. I wish that were true. Does it ever end? Of course, filing taxes is what we're talking about, but I am just so put out with all the taxes. But anyway, if you're filing online, which is about 95% of you need to find affordable tax software that you can trust, and that's hard to do when so many companies claim their tax software is free, and then they end up charging you somehow, some way. So don't put up with that nonsense. Try filing with Ramsey Smart Tax. It's super easy to use, and you'll get every federal form you need with no hidden fees. Right now, you can even use promo code TAX22 to get $25 off filing your federal tax return. That means you get our federal classic software for free, or you can get our federal premium software with priority support and a financial coaching session, all for just $20. So if you're ready to file your taxes with confidence, go to RamseySolutions.com/SmartTax to get started today. That's RamseySolutions.com/SmartTax. Derek is up next in Omaha, Nebraska. Derek, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Absolutely.
Well, I had a kind of another mortgage question. I know the last question was about mortgages. I'm 31 years old from Omaha, and we have about $370,000 left to pay on our mortgage. It's a 15-year mortgage. We're a year into this, and we only have a 2.25% interest rate. So it's fairly low. It's about as low as you can get, I think. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, should I be investing when we get out of debt, or should we probably try to pay off that earlier than 15 years, because that's a really low interest rate compared to what you could probably get on an investment?
It's true. So we want you to do both. So we talk about funding 15% of your income into retirement. And if you guys have kids, starting kids' college, and then throwing the rest at the house. So I hear you 100%. Because when you look at the numbers and you run the numbers out, sure, you can make more in an investment versus paying off the mortgage. I hear that. But the problem that we have found over decades of doing this and talking with people is personal finance. It's not always about the numbers. There's a level of not having a mortgage, having zero risk in your life, that changes the game. And there's not a number for that feeling of you don't owe anyone anything. Because when you don't have a mortgage, you can do whatever you want. You have no payments. And in fact, you could take that mortgage payment and invest that if you wanted to. So there's a peace of mind. There is a change of heart, a change of spirit. Something happens when you don't owe anyone anything. And that's why we're just big on even paying off the house. So the math, this interest rate versus that, if you invested or if what you're paying, all of that, I get it. In an intellectual, just math side, could that work out? Yes. But you never factor in life. You never factor in things that can happen. You never factor in the peace that comes with not owing anyone anything. So I want you to do both, Derek. I want you to do both. I want you to fund retirement, and you guys are still young, which is awesome. Pay off the house early, and then you're going to have your entire income to do whatever you want.
Yeah. They're on a 15-year. That's fantastic.
Yep. You're doing great.
They're going to knock it out. Yeah. Keep on going. The reason why Dave put the baby steps in order is because they need to be in order. And so Rachel's right. Baby step 4, that 15% you are investing. Now knock out that every extra dime that you can, knock it out. And you're going to do it faster than you could possibly imagine. The amount of money we see from debt-free screamers that come in here, they pay off in 4 or 5 years.
Oh, it's 7 year is the average right now for people on the baby steps paying off their house.
Yeah. So, wow. 7 years from now, that's the vision, Derek. 7 years from now.
And you're not even 40.
I know.
7 years from, you know what I'm saying? You have so much time on your side.
I'd appreciate if you wouldn't act like 40 is the way you said that. I'd appreciate if you'd say that a little differently.
You're not even 40.
You're not even 40. Like he's going to have a cane when he's 40. Jeez, for those of us that are older than 40, it just, man, maybe it stung a little bit.
You just feeling it? You feeling it, Ken? Kenneth?
Yeah,
old Kenneth over there?
What'd you say?
What'd you say, Rachel?
What'd you say?
Huh?
Turn your mic up. What's happening? All of a sudden, we've turned into characters.
You're not even 40. That was an inflection of, you're still so young.
I know. I'm faking. It's all fake outrage, folks.
I know.
It's all fake news.
I got you.
All right. Erica's up next in Boston, Massachusetts. Erica, how can we help?
Hi. So I have a question regarding both my spouse and I being spenders. We have 3 beautiful kids, ages 6, 2, and 4 months. And I've been using the every dollar budget about 2-3 months now. And it just seems like we keep going over budget on spending on stupid things. And, I'm just sick of being stupid about it. I'm sick of not being content with what God has given me. And I'm sick of acting pretty much like a child with our money. And I just want us to be adults about it.
Yeah.
I want to be adults with our money. And, like my mom's been trying to help me to stay on track. But, I don't want to put that burden on her. So I've been calling her when I'm feeling vulnerable about the spending. And she's been trying to help me through it. However, I just want to know, what are some things that I can do, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, that can help change the behavior? Because that seems to be the problem. I'm really good with setting the budget.
Yeah.
I'm really good with, stuffing my envelopes. What can I do to help the behavior?
So 2 things that come to mind. My first question is your budget realistic? Are you setting a budget that is realistic with your lifestyle, Erica? Are you, I know this is an extreme example, but you're not putting $50 for food. It's a reasonable budget.
It is. And I give us a little leeway. So he gets $80 a month to spend and I get $80 a month to spend.
Okay. So my next question would be, what is causing you to spend? What are the things that are coming up that you're spending and then you're regretting and you're thinking, man, I just want to be content. I heard you say that. So what are the things? Do you guys have good community around you? Are you lonely? Are you, what is the emotion?
I think it's just hobbies. So he canceled his gym membership. So we got a really basic dumbbells and a bench so that we can set it up in the basement and he can do it in the basement.
Yeah.
And then I like to garden, and I've always wanted to get just little pots so I can plant my seeds, and that's literally what we overspent on this month. And it's just those little hobbies so that we can enjoy our home without having to spend going out.
Yeah.
And it's just so stupid when I think back. I get that buyer's remorse about it because it's I have 3 little babies depending on me, and I can't live this way anymore. And I just want it to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hear it in your voice, Erica, and I don't want it. It feels like you have so much shame and so much guilt of it. Which part of it I understand because you feel like you're making the same mistake month after month, and so you're frustrated with yourself. So I hear that, but I also want to relieve you to say everyone screws up, Erica. Nobody, even us sitting behind this desk every Ramsey show, nobody's perfect when it comes to money. So there are going to be mistakes. So are you guys, tell me more about your situation. How much debt do you guys have? How much y'all make a year?
So we have about $50,000 in debt.
Okay.
Most of it, 30 of it is my school loans, which he even took on an extra job so that we can pay that off more. I'm putting in $600 a month plus what he's getting paid on his side job.
Okay, what's the other 20? What's the other 20?
The other 20 is a car loan.
Okay. How much do you guys make a year?
We make take home is $64,000.
Okay. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, and you've done it, is the budget. Okay. So that budget is going to help in the nuts and bolts of this idea. But when things come up that you feel like, God, I want to spend, but I can't, call your mom. You're not being a burden. She is someone in your life that's going to be able to help walk with you through that. And then I want you guys to have a detailed plan of how you're going to be paying off the car first, the $20,000, and then the student loans. I want the debt snowball dialed in, and I want an end date to say how much, when this can be, when we can be out of debt. I need a motivation for you. But it's your kids, it's getting out of debt, and the motivation. But Erica, give yourself some grace, girl. Breathe. Give yourself some grace. And it's a daily grind. You wake up and you make your decisions, and you do. There's a level of grown-upness there that you need to have.
More of your calls coming right up. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. Rachel Cruz joins me in studio this hour. Our scripture of the day comes from Proverbs 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. Our quote of the day from Maya Angelou, the great poet. Do the best that you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Speaking of doing better, you can do better when you look back on the mistakes you've made, learn from them, and go forward. That's why Rachel and I, everybody at Ramsey Solutions, so excited about our colleague, Dr. John Deloney's new book, which is now available for pre-order, and it's almost over. This is the last chance to act. The new book is Own Your Past, Change Your Future. And John writes exactly about that in this book. Having a conversation with you, looking back in your past to learn, to own it, and then to change the future, not let it hold you back any longer. If you want to live a more restful and peaceful life, you need to get this book. It is a life changer. You can pre-order your copy today at RamseySolutions.com for only $20, and you'll get some amazing added bonus items for free, including the audiobook, the ebook, and 1 month of free weekly therapy sessions from BetterHelp. So go now and get it, RamseySolutions.com. The book is Own Your Past, Change Your Future. Let's go to Tracy, who joins us on the line in Charleston, South Carolina. Tracy, how can we help?
Hi, I thank you for taking my phone call.
You bet.
My question is, we have some debt. My husband owns a classic car that we still owe. We took a 401k loan out to pay for it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back just real quick so we can catch up with you. How much debt do you have total?
Okay, so we have about $11,300 in credit card debt. We owe with our mortgage, and then also we took a second mortgage out. We put a pool in last year, so we owe about $275,000 on our house. It's worth about $590,000.
Mm-hmm.
We still owe the $13,300 on the 401k loan for the car, and that's at a payment of $565 a month.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay. Is that everything?
And the thing that's upsetting with me, my husband watches you all the time and wants to talk to me about finances, and I get very frustrated because we have absolutely no liquid savings, nothing. If something were to happen, we have absolutely no emergency fund.
Okay.
We're 51 years old. He talks about retiring early, which I'm on board with, but when I look at all this on paper and I say, okay, I'm ready to do the baby steps with you, my thing to him was, the car rarely comes out of the garage. He rarely drives it. He doesn't like to drive it long distance. He doesn't like to drive it on the freeway. We paid $55,000 for it.
Oh, what car? What is it?
It's a 1965 Mustang Fastback.
Oh, let me just have a moment real quick for your husband. Ouch. Okay, that's a fabulous car.
And I get that. And so if you tell me, you know what, you can do this, I'm fine with it. I just sort of feel resentful because it's like,
yeah.
Every time we make a $600 payment on that thing, and it just sits there and it barely gets.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Listen. I get it. And so there's tension between you two because you want him to sell the car because it's worth $55 at least, if not more. Correct?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
If we sold it, we would eliminate the 401k loan.
Yep.
That would free up $565 a month in payment.
Mm-hmm.
We could. I figured out we could pay off the $11,300 credit card debt.
That's right.
We could put our maximum in our Roths this year.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, how much y'all make a year?
Combined gross, we probably bring home about $190.
Holy cow! Yeah. Listen, you said he listens and watches the show. I'll do this because Rachel's way too nice.
I was gonna say sell it.
Okay, good. But I'm just gonna tell him, hey, listen, I love classic cars.
And
I have a classic car. I have a 1972 convertible Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. It's absolutely gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't owe anything on her. And this car, you can get another great Mustang. This is going to change your life, and it's going to change your marriage. He has to sell it. You said he listens. What's his name?
Well,
what's his name?
It'll change our marriage only in the fact of the only thing is like the other day, he gets a little resentful when he has to give up his toys.
But you resent him.
Yeah. Well, let me say this too, Tracy.
Yeah.
You guys make an incredible income. Okay.
Great money.
So $24,000 out of $190,000, you guys could clean up this mess. Y'all need to clean up your mess. I mean, this credit card debt. I mean, you guys just have stuff everywhere. You put in a pool. I think both of you need to sit down and say, all right, what's going on? The car, yes, it's an issue and it's frustrating because you're seeing the math. Absolutely. But you guys make good money. And if you both buckle down and say, hey, together we're going to do this, because if you had a plan, Tracy, that you guys could be completely debt free, I mean, obviously except for the house and the 270, if y'all could pay off the 401k loan and the credit card and you could do that in 4 months, would you be still bitter about the car if it was paid off in 4 months?
I don't think so. Not so as much. I think the thing that bothers me is I'm a person that I need to see a little bit of money in the bank for me to feel comfortable.
100%.
Well, of course, it's a safety issue.
But the big emergency fund, though, Tracy, comes after you guys take care of this mess. So maybe it's either, sell the car, because that's going to take care of a lot. You guys are going to be able to pay off these two debts, put money in the bank for that emergency fund, and then actually have a stable foundation.
How much
is
is the second mortgage?
What's that?
How much is the second mortgage that you took out to get the pool?
The pool was $60,000. Our home we owe $219 on. The pool was $60,000. But so I kind of said to him, well, I can't dig up the pool. I mean, there's nothing I can do now about the pool. I can't dig up the pool. You know?
Yeah, sure.
And the thing is, we pay with the housing market the way it is. We bought our house pretty reasonably about 5 years ago. So it doesn't make sense for us to rent. We already looked into rent is more expensive than
No. Nobody's telling you to sell the house. Listen, you guys need to have a come together meeting.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. And look at each other and go, we both want to do this. We're both going to make sacrifices. You can't make it all about the Mustang, right? And he can't make it about whatever. This is big boy, big girl conversation, and we got to go, what future do we want? And the fact of the matter is, yes, it hurts to get rid of the Mustang, but he's got to do it. It makes everything go fast forward. But then what can you do? How much of the $11,300 in credit card was you buying something? Can you sell something for $2,000? We both got to put some skin in the game, I think, to where we stop doing this. Well, you did this, or you're not going to do this. I think that's your problem. I think you both want the same future, but neither one of you are willing to kind of make a sacrifice and both go, all right, we're both going to take on some pain here, Rachel, I think is the issue.
Yeah, and do it
this
together.
This is painful. But look, can I just say this? Making $190,000 after they clean this mess up, he can go pay cash for another great Mustang.
Or you guys can choose an intense plan to get rid of it. You both have to agree, though. That's the problem. And Tracy, you're feeling this level of fear because you're not going to be taken care of if something happens, and a $55,000 Mustang is sitting in there, and it almost feels like that's become more important to him than her level of safety and fear, right? So I mean, like you guys have
you can keep
it's the conversation that needs to be had of there's marriage stuff here too. So but we always say too around here, I think Dave says it all the time, which I just love. How do we get from point A to point B the fastest, most efficient way? The baby steps are that, and part of the baby steps is you sell everything to fast forward this process. So to get to point B, to have money in the bank for you to feel secure, for him to retire early, all these things y'all want, the Mustang makes sense to sell to get there the fastest, unless you guys choose a different plan to pay it off and all of that. But y'all have to be on this, both of you.
Hang on the line, Tracy. I know he listens and watches. Let's give you guys a copy of Total Money Makeover and just follow it as it is written. $1,000, baby step one. Get that little emergency fund and then walk it out. You guys can do this. You have you have big enough shovel. You do.
Yep.
You can do this.
Great job, Tracy.
Yes.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you for the call. Boy, I hate to see that Mustang go. I think it has to. Hey, Rachel Cruz, thank you. Thank you to the team. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from The Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.